Hi, it's Joy here in New York, Zone 6B. It's mid-May, which means it's time for a garden tour. If everything works out, this will be the last few days that I'll be seeing all these containers. The plant sale is coming up in a few days. And yes, some of these are mine. Like this is chia. I'll be keeping all this. We've got some nice loofah coming along. The jicama, I got two going strong. This is my ghost pepper that I overwintered. This is some purple dwarf variety of tomatoes that Robin got me, the seeds. So those are coming along well. This is one of many marigolds I'll be keeping. I'll be selling some. And a bunch of other stuff. Also doing quite well. The rice. Looky loo. Looking good. Now, it'll take me a minute to get these outside, but I'll get them out there eventually. There are a few things still in the basement that I started later. Um, A lot of them are summer flowers. Like I have amaranth, salvia, bachelor buttons, zinnias, and sweet woodruff, which is like a ground cover. I don't see if I'm having much success with that. And then these are just a mishmash of things that I wanted just a few of. Like this is like, I think these are pigeon peas. I'm not really sure what those seeds are. So I just marked them pigeon peas because they look like pigeon peas. We'll see. This is Roselle. Only one has come up. So I'm gonna reseed. And then I had what's here? Devil's tongue pepper, which hasn't come up yet. There's I wanted to redo my rosemary, so that hasn't come up yet. Alice's dream tomato. I already seeded and then I reseeded again because I forgot I seeded it already. I've got some husk cherry here because I wasn't sure. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. If it was, I wasn't sure if it was the same as the Aunt Molly's. So I wanted to do that. And then honey drop, I only sowed a few, so I wanted to get a few more. And then French marigold there, which I only have a Cracker Jack so far. And then, because I've lost my mind, as I've told you before, I wanted to get some more slips of sweet potatoes. But I already have a whole bunch of slips of sweet potatoes, so I don't know what the heck this is. But yeah, we'll sell some to get rid of the huge inventory. And I don't know what will happen to this. Yeah, here's the bag of sweet potato slips I ordered because, yeah. So there's 25 in here. I don't have space for 25, so we'll be selling a bunch of these because I already have the sweet potato slips I had started. I'm not going to say we subscribe to the No Mo May. It just happens to work out that way with the schedule of our lives and then a lot of weekends being rained out. There's just hardly any hour to mow, which works out for the, pollinators and stuff. But we have plenty of space for that. It's not the end of the world. But it's been about 2 weeks since we put some of these trees in. This is going to be a dogwood. It has leafed out. So we know it's alive. It's alive. A more recent addition is this sea berry or sea buckthorn. That one's from, was it last year or the year before? And then this one just came in. We shall see how that does. I still don't know if any of these are female. Pretty sure that one's a male. I'm hoping that's a female. We might have to keep shopping if we don't have the right type. So here is the row that I planted, and I did get the mulch in recently. So this is, goodness, which one's this one? Quince. This is quince. We got green. This is the honeyberry. There's green. And that one too. And then this is a persimmon, no green to speak of. And the other persimmon, also no greenery. And then here we already have one of the pomegranates. I don't know why it's a supposed to, well, it's not crunchy, so, if it's the tinge of red makes me think they're not liking the weather, but the weather hasn't been that terrible for them. And the white mulberry greening up. I could trim off some of the tips here that have died back. Yeah, like the color on that does not look nice. Now this other row of fruit trees, 3 apples and a pear. I remember the pear had flowers, but I did not see flowers on the apples. So I'm not sure if I just missed it and it fell off in the freeze we had, or just didn't flower this year. But I don't know. Maybe I'm too early. We shall see. I can't believe the comfrey's already going to flower. That goes quick. Well, I can cut this back all the way down and get another flush if I get the chance to. So in here, first we're gonna look at these buckets that I haven't really looked at much. I have not watered them. I let Mother Nature take its course. And it looks like mostly weeds, actually. So whatever this is, it's very pervasive, very strong cedar, because it's like in all the pots. And these are, the soil from, well, I don't even know where the soil's from. It could have been reused soil, actually. So this is supposed to be Joe Pye weed in this container. I have no idea which of these plants could potentially be that plant. I'll have to look that up. I know it's not this or this. Maybe that. But in any case, I don't see too many that could be, like I might have one or two or one. All right, this one's supposed to have Bells of Ireland. I see maybe two, one, two, and the rest is not. Next here is marshmallow. Oh, I think I have a surviving marshmallow actually, so that's not bad. That's not marshmallow for sure. This is another of that pathetic, annoying weed. I don't know. I don't know if any of these is a marshmallow. All right, sweet pea. That's a win. I know what sweet pea looks like. There is a good amount of sweet peas here. It looks like whatever batch this was right here in this quadrant, because I think I had 3, did not do well, but the other 2 are fine. This should be hyssop. I'm guessing it's these tiny tinies because it's definitely not these big ones. In here, St. John's wort. I have no idea what that could be. Maybe this. If so, there's a couple, I guess. In here, what's in here? Is a milkweed. Again, it's not that, and it's not that. So I don't know if we were successful with the milkweed or not. In here might be, lavender. Definitely no lavender that I see. And this should be snapdragons. That's these teeny tinies. Okay, that's there. More of the weeds. Up here, that looks promising. That should be poppies, Robin's poppies. So Robin's poppies from Robin Gardens are up. They need to be watered. Oh my goodness. This should be columbine. I don't know. I don't think so. This one, maybe a couple of them are another kind of poppy. Maybe, yeah, these look different from anything I'm growing, so it could be these. Sorry for the bad, or it could be this. I don't know what's in here. What the heck? And last but not least, it looks like another snap. What's this one? Alyssum. This is a alyssum container, and it looks like a good amount of alyssum, so that's a win. So not too many wins this year on the container winter gardening front. All right, back to regularly scheduled programming. Blueberries, nicely flowered, most of them. This bed has an assortment of greens. The arugula, looking good. And these were all started inside. I got a couple of Mizuna. Hard to tell because they have dark purple foliage. 1, 2, 3. This is one of the cauliflowers. So this was planted earlier than another bed of greens. What else we got in here? Let me get this out of the way so we can see something. Oh my God, I thought I'd lost this. So this bed is over an existing few asparagus plants. And there should be another one here that also hasn't come up yet. And I thought I'd lost them because they didn't come up for so long and everybody's already burning out. But apparently it was just taking its sweet time. Oh, and there too. I thought I'd lost those. I thought those asparagus were dead, that I'd buried them. But no, they're just taking their sweet time. All right, back to this bed. What's also in this bed was whatchamacallem, saffron crocuses. But I didn't see those come up either. So I just planted on top of them, and if they come up, they come up. I didn't unbury any when I dug up for the planting holes. So if they're there, great. If they're not, wah wah. All right, back to what's here. We got, I don't know, what I do with the label? Well, this one's broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli. We've got Swiss chard. We've got collards. This is a weed. Get out. Oh, goodness. So this should be a row of Swiss chards here. Yep. And then I thought there was more here, but I don't see anything, so maybe I'm wrong. This one is a kohlrabi. So I've got majority of a few greens here. And some other greens I don't remember. So this screen is mainly to deter a rabbit that's still around. But if it wants to get in, it will get in. Over here, we're familiar with this bed of assorted things. These are on their way out. So cute. These, I believe, are soft neck garlic. Don't quote me on that. The lettuce, we have been doing so much lettuce eating. I did harvest a few, like this was a lettuce here and there was a lettuce there, but I've given those away, and lettuce is going to be done sooner than later. The radish is, well, it's coming along. And the peas are also coming along, slow but steady. And then more of the flowers. And I didn't really plant anything. Well, maybe, yeah, I didn't really plant anything in here. I don't remember what this lone wolf is. This bed of mostly beets and spinach is coming along also. I've weeded. I need to keep weeding because it's always being terrorized. Knock on wood, it looks like, the voles population is smaller this year and they're not bothering everything. So this bed is currently protected enough. This is some of my sunchokes doing very well. A little overcrowded probably, but yeah. Now here somewhere, one of these being buried probably. Yeah, there we go. That is a thornless blackberry that got chewed by a rabbit, so it has to come back from the bottom. But then this giant mess is thornless raspberries, which I will usually like try to trellis or something because it gets really, really out of hand. And then I think the last thing I'm showing you here is figs that refuse to winterize. So I'm gonna have to dig these up and bring them in. I thought it was coming strong, but it looks like it's taking a hiccup. But this one is a Chicago Hardy, and this one's coming back a little bit better. I'm definitely going to dig that one up this winter. It's an assorted bed. Mostly I let the calendula self-seed in this area, and I haven't had as big a success this season. It's a mishmash, which isn't bad. It's not the end of the world that there isn't that many, but just telling you for the future, you won't see so many of them as you have in the past. Um, Here we go. I never remember. Lemon balm. One of this is a bergamot, and one of them is a hyssop. That might be interchangeable. I don't know, but I finally cleaned it up, and they're looking beautiful. I also did a little crafting project and sewed in a little better mesh situation for the water collection um, container here. So less bugs and less other debris clogging up the works. We are making such nice progress, or my husband and child are making really nice progress on this eventual carport. Soon we'll be able to put a structure on it, and it'll be nice and dry because this is a lot of rocks. And then a friend of ours made us a little wall there, which unfortunately we won't be able to appreciate, but we appreciate it now. Here's another smattering of things that are hardening off or just staying out for the winter, but I haven't found a spot for. We have the lantana doing beautiful. Love the colors that they come up with. Back there are assorted overwintered peppers that I'm going to double up on because I don't trust that these will make it. This is the rosemary pot that I want to replace because it's really gone through some rough times there. This bay, I may have drowned it like I did the miracle berry, and it's just on its last leg, but we're trying. The deliciosa monstera, I'm probably going to have to pot up soon because it's looking big in there. And then the foxglove self-seeded itself. The lobelia self-seeded itself. Well, no, this was the original lobelia. This lobelia self-seeded itself because they were next to each other. Look at the beautiful bluish, purplish flowers. Oh, and that's just, oh, I know. That was Mexican mint. That still has some life. I thought it was dead. But we can reseed that. No problem. Over here, that's largely empty. Maybe like a couple of strawberries, runners got in there. I also have strawberry runners like in the patio because we're not very good at keeping this stuff under control. But strawberry, it's going to be strawberry season. There is beautiful flowers. There's beautiful fruit set coming on. I'm very excited for this year's strawberry harvest. Yay! Now these beds are largely reserved for hot weather stuff, so I haven't put anything out yet. Like I usually put my squashes over there because it can vine up the trellis. And then this bed is either going to have sweet potatoes or some other kind of melon. But I did plug in some peas. Now those peas were pre-sprouted. The ones in the middle were maybe soaked overnight and then put in. And you can really tell the difference between ones that you pre-sprout for a couple of days and let the root really get going versus just plunking in seeds and then they just struggle and struggle for a long time. They have not been up. So that's empty mostly. Now this, we recently put in leeks in those 1, 2, and then this yellow container have leeks in them. And then this is carrots. I'm not gonna mess with it right now. Just trust me. There's carrots in there. There's also leeks, and then a volunteer brassica of some kind, and then that dang weeds that I thought might be flowers, but I'm sure it's weeds now. So I'm gonna be cleaning that up vigorously of all the weeds. And then we got a bunch of empty containers that will be filled very shortly. Oh, this is celery, overwintered celery. Lots. I expect lots of flowers from that. This is just relatively empty space, but not really, because at some point years ago, a couple of years at least, I just like seeded wildly. Not wildly. I had a plan, but nothing came up, and the dog dug through it, and squirrels and blah blah blah. But apparently, Sweet William is finally making an appearance. And then also Feverfew is making an appearance. I don't need any more Feverfew. I'll probably pull that up. But the Sweet William, I am very appreciative of because I lost my main patch of it. This little container has more strawberries. Not, it's not as deep. It's not as well taken care of. These are like babies from some other plant. But these little ones are alpine strawberries that I just planted, a month ago. So those are going to take a while to give us anything. Now this container is mint, spearmint, and peppermint. Usually I can't get mint to live. I don't know why. But what I did was I keep it in this container. I buried the container. You can see I have another pot upside down there holding it up because I'm going to rebury it come winter again. And it came back. So it just needed a little bit more mulch. And this was a tough winter. If I was going to lose it, it was definitely going to be this winter. So it just needs to be in the soil, really protected, mulched over. And that's how I can keep my mint going. Otherwise, no mint for me in containers. Unless it's like a big container, I guess. And I'm not going to give up a container for mint. I've got some foxglove, second year, and then baby foxgloves. Yarrow back there doing much better. I was hoping, I think I have a few snaps. Yeah, I have a few snaps in here too. Snapdragons come back or seeded. So that's good. It's nice to have those flowers do the work for me. And then these obnoxiousness of rhubarbs flowering every time. I feel like just replacing them. This variety stinks. It flowers super quick. You hardly have any time to get the greens before it flowers. I think this is the Victoria rhubarb. So I'll have to really have a good think on this variety. Being a tough winter, I lost, or maybe it was just old, I lost a big chunk of sage that was growing in the middle right there. But this is, an offshoot and an offshoot. So this patch is still fine, but I have a feeling that's on its way out also. But over here is a plant that I got from a friend's house like 2 years ago. It's a different variety, but you can see that it's already flowering. So that's interesting. But it's pretty. I take the leaves as I need them, and that's good enough for me. Back there, let's see if I can squeeze through here. Okay, I can take this off now. This is, what's it called? Honeysuckle. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, it's a viner. I need to get something to let this vine up of. So honeysuckle's doing great. Put that rock there. Let me go back around. So yeah, more of this unruly rhubarb. And into the mainly wild bed of some asparagus, some kale, going to flower. More importantly, peonies, peony, and a peony right there. But yeah, if you let asparagus, give it space, and I don't think it minds competition that much because there's a bajillion weeds in here that I never got back to. Look how gigantic they are. Look at that. That's over an inch wide. Very, very fat asparagus grow right here. All right, let's get in here. So the main star of this area is garlic. This is elephant garlic. They took the longest to come up. I don't know what's going on here. It's a split of some kind because this should be the main one. And this, I don't know what this is. But yeah, and then I got hard neck from what I recall, and then soft neck, and then nuts that didn't come up. So I have potatoes, 1, 2, 3. Check out prior videos if you haven't seen. It was a short one, so I put 3 potatoes in here, and they haven't come up yet. Oh no, there we go. It's poking. It's coming. There's a potato. Uh-oh. Is that potato or something else? That looks weird. What's over here? Anything over here? No. Okay. There's that. I have a list of all the seeds I just scattered all over. I don't know what's in here. I'll get back to you on those. Not in this video. This is still empty. This got planted. The video for the brassica planting is coming out after this one in a couple of days. So watch for that. So this is mostly brassicas, cauliflower, Brussels sprout, cabbage, kohlrabi. Is that a brassica? Did I say broccoli already? Yeah, that's what's in here. Looks good. And then I had extras, so I put them in the middle of some, if not most, of the empty grow bags. And also, I got some volunteer Mizuno right there. There's another volunteer right there. This bed has volunteer, well, not volunteer necessarily, left out onions. So those will do their thing. What I did do is, again, with the seed packets I had, I just scattered all around the brassicas. So I don't know what's going to come up. I have it listed somewhere. So I'll do that another day when they do start coming up. These potatoes were the first to be put in. I don't know how these are going to do. This is a complete experiment. These died back when we got that frost in what, end of April-ish time. And then they came back. So we'll see. And then these two have more recently planted potatoes. I'm not seeing any. I'm sure they're fine though. And also, I had extra soft neck garlic. So I just put these in. They were already, little snubs. So I put these in recently, like less than 2 weeks ago. So you'll see them across most of the beds because I plunked them in everywhere. Coming out, we have some struggling elderberry. But this is doing really well, the gumi. Yep, the gumi is looking so good. It's actually flowering. Is that good? Well, it's self-fertile, and if it wants to, then I'm not gonna stop it. What is that? That just paint? Maybe that's just paint. Okay, that's exciting. Over here by the chicken yard is the jungle of stinging nettle that has taken over the friggin' place. Yeah, that needs to be controlled. Also, what will take over next is the lemon balm. I have two. But this is, what is it? Gosh, is up. It's alive. Yay. And then I was bumming out because I thought I had another peony. And I was like, oh, I lost it. But I didn't. I didn't lose it. It's still here. It's just buried. I'm going to need to unbury this and transplant it where the others are. Even though it seems to be doing fine here, but it hasn't moved very much in all the years it's been in. So, yeah, it will be transplanted at the end of the season. We are going to be entering this space, which is where tomatoes usually go. Now, I did have a good flush of mushrooms, the wine caps, but I wasn't paying attention, so I missed the boat. I wasn't looking for them. And then that kiddie pool was covering up this area, and so there were a bunch of mushrooms under it. But yeah, I need to feed these area if I want flushes in the future. Now, the tomato area, I trenched it because I want the water to seep in and then, seep into the side bed. It's hard to see when it's all the same colors. So, and then maybe in the future, I'll trench it more and then bury some compost in it. That would be good too. But that's what I've done this year so far. I weeded ahead of schedule and got something accomplished. I left as much as I could. I left the board volunteers alone. Now this is, let's skip that one for now. This is the other main brassica planting. And it looks like I need to spray some BT because I'm getting holes in my cabbage. Everybody else looks okay, but it's only a matter of time. If there's one, there's going to be a ton. So I've covered this the best I can. This is going to be future like pepper and eggplant and okra. So I've tried to weed and then the weeds come back. So that's a work in progress until June. This I weeded. I put down good stuff on top, the fertilizer and stuff. And I've seeded corn because if you, when did you, no, we'll see it next video. You will see that corn is ready to sprout. It can be sprouted from the kernels off of the cob, which has happened. So I buried one. I think the dog dug it up because it was before I did all this. So we shall see in the future if that comes up or not. Oh no, there it is. I found it. I found it. Oh, it got buried though. What did I do? Let's see. Here it is. So here is one of the cobs. Yep, it got buried. This is a cob, and some of the kernels sprouted. And here's the greenery. And yeah, we'll just leave that alone. I don't know what I'm doing there. But anyway, oh, a funny little story. We'll do a face to face for this one. So I could have sworn up and down I bought a bajillion packets, at least four, of corn, ambrosia corn, because I like that. I like that variety from prior years of growing it. Other varieties I'd grown turned out to be more like mealy tasting. So I was like, I want sweet corn, get the ambrosia. So I bought a whole bunch of packets. So I go, I was ready to plant them. So I go looking for them, and I'm like, one packet, where'd they all go? And I'm looking up and down, left and right. I'm like, oh man, did I use them all up? And I wasn't paying attention, and I forgot, and I had my memory all mixed up, which is common nowadays. So, I was resigned to only doing a little plunky plot, and I pulled out the sunflowers. I'm like, all right, I'll put sunflowers in the rest of it. And I was like, it was supposed to be 20 seeds in a packet. I'm like, 20, that's plenty. Who's gonna eat 400 ears of corn? No. But so yeah, I came down. I'd already done the whole bed. I'd prepared it. So I came here, I got the packet, I opened it up, and I'm like, 20? This isn't 20. So it turns out I had forgotten that I'd emptied out all those other packets into one packet. So I had more than 80 seeds because it covered the whole space, and it's more than 20 per quadrant that I was planting. So I might have had 5 packets actually in there because I had some from the prior year. And I still have some left over for any that fail or get eaten or whatever in the meantime, because there's enough time for them to catch up. Like if I plant them in, early June, mid June, they'll still come up. So I was like, oh my God, it was, I'd say it was days, not just hours of me like swearing up and down that I had to have corn. Where did I put it? Searching the fridge. Maybe I, put it there to stratify or something. Checking all the containers. I'm like, where did I put the corn? But yeah, I consolidated it and I completely forgotten. So that's that. But I have my corn patch. So this whole space is corn. How big is this space? Let's see. It's like a U shape. So it's 2 feet wide, 2 feet wide, and then this part is 3 feet wide. And let's just say 6 feet long. So 18 feet over here, 18 square feet over here, and then 4 by 2, so 8 and 8, 16 square feet over there. So and the corn kernels are every 6 inches. I don't know how much corn that is. And then they're not all gonna come up, some are gonna suffer something or other. But that's a heck of a lot of corn. I'm so excited. So excited. Also very excited. Look at all the flowers on these. Maybe because I fertilized them. Who knows? But this is loaded. It has never been so loaded. The container ones, not so much, but the ones in the ground. So many flowers. We'll have to move this. Nothing to report here. I just want to show it to you. Just so we know it's here. This is the black currant. It's alive. Now, I'm taking a real risk walking around in the woods here because tick season is upon us. I've already gotten bitten. Oh my goodness. I have a nice, it's not a bullseye. I'm hoping it's not going to turn into anything. It's just itchy. But yeah, the tick season terrible insect that's released into humanity is upon us. But here we go for the next plant. So in the last tour, I thought this was a goner. But no, it's not. It's fine. It's good. It's alive. So this was, a pot, not potted, raised up because the soil is mostly clay and no nutrients, other than whatever's already here. So I raised it up and I thought maybe that damaged the root system from the super cold. But it's not dead. Stupid grapes making me think it's dead. And then this is another older one. Lots of nice growth on there. And this one, not so nice, but it's alive. There's life there. Now this is a gladiolus bulb, the only one that survived last year, and I was able to overwinter it. And it's gonna be something. Now this, I don't know what this is. Yeah, we will have to wait and see. That's not something common in these here parts that I know of. And then the runaway asparagus quickly overtook me. So I got what I could get. And there's still a few that I can get. There's still some smallish ones. But yeah, I was worried there for a minute. But it's all up. Like certain parts are spindly because the soil is not so healthy, but they're up. They've come back. What did we plant over here? Blazing Star Liatris is alive. Really helps to have these things because the dog, oh my goodness. And then those other tulips have opened up over here and over there. Oh, I know I mentioned this in the past, but there are wild chives. I think they're called garlic chives in the property. And I never, cook anything really for the use of them, but if I need to, they're here. So this container of parsnips that died back in the winter and then came back in the spring is doing well. I still haven't looked it up to see if they're just going to be going to flower this season, which I guess is what's going to happen, but at least I'll have lots of parsnip seeds. The strawberry tower is time to get fed again, but everybody is pretty much doing well. Oh, yeah, I also planted a few cloves of garlic. So here's one coming up. Not all over, just here and there where the pockets were looking particularly empty because these are alpine strawberries, so they're tiny. So I figured they had space for a piece of garlic and maybe as a deterrent. Also, I'm happy to report the winter savory self-seeded. And so that's mostly these. And there's also summer savory, which I believe are the bigger leaves. The winter savory have more flavor, like a peppery flavor versus the summer savory. But they reseeded. That's awesome. Over here, this I remember now is scallions. I put this here on purpose. I've already taken some cuttings off of it. And then this has 3 brassicas. That's the Nazaki cabbage, and these 2 are cauliflower. And then I have like beets and spinach. Ooh, that's looking good. That overwintered, the big one. That's ready to start harvesting from. And then I've got some onions that I left behind. These 3 are leeks. 1, 2, 3. Those are leeks. But these are onions that got left behind and are growing strong. Something else that's surprising me this year, this bearded dragon iris. This is its 3rd year and it's finally giving me a flower. So hurrah. I can't wait to see what it looks like. These are the tubs for the future rice. Of course, I'm blanking on what this monstrosity is, but it needs to be trimmed back a little bit and give room for I see it getting eaten up. Artichokes, that one's fine. And That one's kind of okay too, but this one's suffering. Also over here, we planted, let's see if it's still here. What's supposed to be here? Common bone set. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if it made it or if it's like gone dormant and has to come back up again. We'll have to wait and see. But the transplant of the pawpaw seems like we have a green leaf there, so I think that's going to be okay. All right, the transplants of dill and parsley, cilantro. No, did I do cilantro? No, I have plenty of cilantro. I don't think I did cilantro. We got celery and then fennel. They seem to be doing okay. This is a weed, some kind of flower that I just leave it, let it go. My yarrow's coming in. The I think this is just more rogue feverfew over here. Doesn't need to be here. This is a carpet of oregano. Then I have lots of some kind of mustard green just taking over this place. But here, this is my sweet William that was bigger last year, and now it's just two little vines. It'll, get bigger again. But I did lose quite a bit of it over the winter. Here's another patch of oregano. I did dig up some of it to sell for the plant sale. Just to show you, those little greens are going to be chamomile along with the weeds and all. But there's chamomile coming up in there that self seeds. And then usually this space I reserve for basil. Basil. Oh my gosh, basil. And just a little look-see on the fig that was in a container. This is here because the dog thinks this is a chew toy. I also plugged in a couple of garlic pieces in here. Here are those. Oh, I got a straggler here. Oregano. This was just from yesterday, so it's gonna take him a day or so to unlimp. This is from a few days ago, so these are a little bit more upright. But it's like mint, right? It's in the same family, so it'll be fine. Ooh, the winds have picked up. We have plants. That's lilac. This is you remember what that is. I don't. Here is the autumn joy sedum, and here's the sedum that I got from the woods. It's alive. And we got our hollyhocks coming in strong. We got more strawberries and lamb's ear. My lavender's struggling. I need to really weed. But look, and I've got lots of runners too of the strawberries. Look how big. Look how many flowers. Oh my goodness, it's loaded. These are smaller ones. This container and that bluish green one were from the balcony upstairs, and these are everbearing, so they're gonna be smaller. They always do well, pretty much. This one's not as good, but the container's a little bit smaller. All right, this one's not as good either, but it's got plants. Oh, I know what that is. It's columbine. It's been there. It'll always be there. This I think is marshmallow that I planted, and it struggled last year, but it came back. I think it's marshmallow. So I'm so excited. It could be finally an established marshmallow. And this is the other one that's from the balcony. And then here's another container one with a little bitty. Those are hollyhocks. Here's another struggling lavender. This lavender's a little better off, or a lot better off. This one's not struggling as much. But here, I transplanted this from the work zone, the bleeding hearts. They're doing so well here. So excited. And there's another lavender right there, not doing too bad. And there's another big lavender that I skipped over. But here are the tulips that I, transplanted. And, they're not going to look great. We'll have to see till next year what they do. But some of the allium balls that are left have come up, and these smell so good. I want to get more, but I'm just gonna lose them, so I don't know what the point is. But these are awesome. They smell so good. If you have the space and not the pest pressure, definitely get you some of that. And I think last we're gonna be doing these. Look how big they've gotten. They've already started to flower, oh, of course. But we've taken some to eat and gonna start ramping it up with the eating because it's not gonna be good for much longer. But I did reseed, so I'm gonna cut them off at the base, and then the seeds should sprout, or before that even. But I forgot that I have those dwarf tomatoes that I wanted to plunk in here, so I'll have to rethink my strategy here. But the onions are up, even the ones that were trimmed, the ones that weren't trimmed, they're all pretty much doing what they're supposed to do. So all's well that ends well. Now let's not forget this heuchera that survives super cold temps in 3 inches of soil, no problemo. This is supposed to be Johnny Jump Ups. I don't know what's growing in there, maybe, maybe not. And then I pretty much abandoned this container. There's so many things in there, but I keep forgetting about it, and it keeps drying up because they're so tiny. I really just got to plant it and let it go. Let it go. Okay, that's that. And that wraps up our May garden tour. It is a high pollen day. I have been sniffling and snuffling off camera. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me today and all the days you do. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified of all the times I post, which is at least once a week, if not twice a week. And then twice a month, twice monthly, I do a live chat with That Healy Means. You can also catch those chats on her channel. But other than that, I'll talk to y'all again soon. So we'll harvest more. Bye.